Mailbox Print and Business Center developers, over 500 stores open since 2004.
My name is JD. So always like to start off with, I guess, one of the most commonly asked questions of, is now a good time to not only open a business, but to open specifically for this call, a Mailbox Print and Business Center? And the easy answer is absolutely yes. And let me explain why. As is all of us know, and we've all been living through COVID and the impacts of that, many businesses have employees working at home. Many employees are working sometimes at home, sometimes remotely. Some offices are not open fully yet. With the Delta variant, not sure how long that's going to, be expanded. But there's been a greater need for this concept, and there was a great need already. The growth in Mailbox Print and Business Center has been astronomical over the last, I'd say, 2-3 years, and it has just been catapulted even farther. And to kind of prove that point is in regards to the increased need for what this concept does, is that they're showing that as of right now, there's over 4.3 million people that still are able to work from home. And that number may have increased because this was from a few months ago. 56% of all employers are still allowing at some level remote work in their business. In a recent survey, employers expect approximately 2 out of every 5 employees to still be working at home at the end of this year. So that's just folks working at home beyond the business aspect. And the reason I point that out is what that's done is it's created a more awareness and a larger knowledge of that neighborhood post-print and ship business. People have had to go other places outside of their business copy room, business center to do their post, their ship, their print. And that has very much grown. At the same time, many instances, the community wants to work and support a local business owner rather than a corporation. And many folks thought in the past it was all about, well, I need to be part of the big boys. Well, there's almost a switch in our country, as there has been for a while now, that as long as you are running a great store, you have great employees, it's clean, it's lit, you have great service and great pricing, that neighborhood, that community, those business workers throughout your community are going to come to you to support you because you're one of the neighborhood. And that is true whether you are in a borough of New York, you are in, downtown of San Francisco, or you're in, Ontario, Oregon that has 10,000 people. It's really the same. So again, now is a perfect time to open the business. Now go beyond that and even get more immediate. Now's the perfect time because we're going into fourth quarter. I will tell you that the reason I even point that up is that's the time that more people are going out looking in regards to printing and shipping, which then helps build your brand, create a stronger foundation. Not to say that hasn't happened all along. This makes it quicker. So now is just a wonderful time. And really, as you saw by the ridiculous red Santa hat that I had them put on me, it really is about fourth quarter. I can tell you that right now, I'm scheduling stores for October because August, September is already full, which works out perfectly because through the process, that's kind of what it's taking anyway. But now's the perfect time. The other thing that I will throw in there, now's the perfect time from a money standpoint. No later than September 1st, prices will be going up just because much like every business we deal with, whether it's a gas station, the grocery store, the prices being given to the vendors has gone up. And it's the same with us. Whether it be the cost of equipment, supplies, it's all increased 6 to 10%. So now's a perfect time to get in-house and get started so that you don't have to pay the increased pricing. Even though the increased pricing will still be below anyone out there, why not save some money? That's always a good thing. So now is a perfect time. So now that I've expounded on why it's perfect, now I guess the next question is, okay, well that's great, but is this for me? And in many cases, I will give you all the pros and cons, and then you and your family are going to have to decide, if this is really for you. And here's how you have to look at it to decide. One, are you the type of person that can self-manage and get out from under the thumb of someone telling you what time to come to work, what time to leave, what time to, take a lunch break? Are you the type of person that you want all of your hard work to that money and that benefit to go to your bank account and your brand and your legacy, or are you comfortable doing it for somebody else? Two, are you the type of person that's willing to roll up your sleeves, not look to others, and get after it? Being a business owner, you have to work hard. Many people ask me, well, JD, what can I expect financially? And the answer is, that depends on you. We're going to develop a beautiful store for you. Great equipment, beautiful fixtures, signage. It's going to look great. But I'm not going to be running it for you. I'm not going to manage it for you. I'm not going to hire your employees. So it really comes down to what matters to you. Are you someone who is comfortable thinking that, hey, they're going to develop my store, I'm going to sit here behind the counter, and I'm going to make tons of money? The fact is that's not going to happen. You'll make some money, but it's not going to be tons of money. Or are you someone who says, okay, that's the foundation, but I'm going to be on the phone a couple hours a week marketing my business. I'm going to put together a marketing portfolio, set aside 2 hours a week to go to local businesses, to schools, to restaurants, to lawyers, to doctors, to architecture firms, to schools, to business centers, and I'm going to spend 5 minutes giving them my business card, open up my portfolio, and says, here's what I can do for you, and here's how I can save you money. If you're that person, you're going to do awesome. And awesome meaning, I will tell you, depending upon whether you do our value package, which is strictly ship and post, those stores on average are averaging 15 to 20,000 a month. Obviously, after the brand is built, that's not going to happen month one because you have to build it. The stores that go to the standard or the premium package, which includes print, that really is the big difference, is that it has the whole print center. Those stores are averaging 30 to 50,000 a month. And again, I give you those numbers. Those are the people that are rolling up their sleeves and getting after it. If you're not and you don't, those numbers aren't going to be near that. Many of the people we have spoken to have said this last year has been the best year of their career. I could tell you that the gentleman who does our training, we opened his store 12 years ago. And he basically, if you were to look at it today, has a value package. That was before print ever started. He had his best year this last year that he's had in the history of his store for 12 years. And it's continuing this year to exceed last year. You have to be someone who isn't afraid of getting in front of people and talking, introducing yourself and your product. You also need to be someone who understands that in business, much like life, you're going to get knocked down. Do you take that as a woe's me, this is terrible, oh no, what am I going to do? Or just pick yourself up, pull yourself up from the bootstraps. Obviously, I grew up in the country. That's where some of these things come from. And say, okay, so what have I learned from this? How is this experience going to make me better tomorrow? What can I learn from this? And those people who can do that, those tough obstacles are actually what makes you a better store owner. And it makes it where you can go from store one to store two if you want. Are you willing to, if you need help, reach out and ask? Some people will let their ego or pride get in the way. They'll try to beat their heads up against a brick wall. You have resources as part of this program, whether it's the association that you're part of, us, our trainers. We always tell people don't spend hours trying to figure it out. Ask. That's what we're here for. We're invested in your success. We don't just come here at 6:30, 5:30, whatever it is in the morning and work all day just to work. We take it pretty personal that you all are successful. That's why we do it. That's why this overall business has been here for 25 years and Mailbox for 15. So, that's one of there. Are you proactive? Do you wait for something to happen or do you make something happen? It comes down to that. Are you organized? Are you able to plan your day, your week? Also understanding and dealing with people and freight. You have to have some flexibility and be fluid and not let that frustrate you. Because with the impact of COVID, unfortunately, still today, it impacts you. Freight is late. Vendors you deal with are short-staffed. It's part of the world that we live in, especially in North America right now, where, freight, they're still short drivers. Doesn't impact your business, but something may not happen on Tuesday. It may come Wednesday. And it's how you understand how to deal with that. Are you committed to customer service? This is a service-oriented business. And are you there to meet people with a smile, to take care of their needs, and not automatically say no, but look for ways to say yes? Sometimes you have to think out of the box and figure out what to do. Prime example, I was talking to our distributor of our print. Him and I were talking yesterday, and he was asking, we were talking about a client that we had just done 6 months ago. And he was telling me that when he happened to be in there putting in the print stuff for this client, and someone came in and asked about if they do lanyards. And the owner was still new, and he's going, and our distributor said, absolutely. We do lanyards. We can do anywhere from 1 to 10,000. And ever since then, and this happened to be a gentleman that works for the police association, ever since then, that store now does all of their lanyards, all of their flyers, all of the material for the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police. That by far is paying more than their rent every single month, just that one client. So, it's that. You look at it in restaurants right now, as an example. Many of them, and I can speak beyond Las Vegas, but I can very much speak about Las Vegas, many places do paper menus. Knowing that, do you go out and market your business to restaurants so that you can have a consistent revenue coming in by printing up their menus? Many retail organizations do all of their POP, which is their interior promotional signage. They get templates from corporate, and they then get it done here. Do you reach out to them so that you can have that consistent business? Do you talk to architects and architectural firms? Because they have to get all their blueprints printed. For the most part, they don't do that in-house. They get that done at a print store. Do you talk to them and create that consistent basis and let them know that, oh, by the way, if you're real busy, we have a 36-inch portable scanner. We can come to you. We can scan your blueprints, take it back to the store, and get them printed for you. You can pick them up later today. So those are all things that you can do that will help you know. So I know now's a good time. I know what my opportunities are. So am I the right person? And quite honestly, not everybody is. And I will be the first one to, if I know that, I'll tell you, are you sure this is what you want to do? Based on our conversation, this may not be right for you, and that's okay. I would much rather have that conversation than the conversation down the road where someone doesn't succeed, and you could tell right away at the beginning they weren't going to. I'm invested in your success. So the next thing. So what do we do? What does the development company that I'm the vice president of, that I am the general manager of specifically in this concept, what do we do for you as a company? Is it just we take your $500 for a sales deposit, and then when you get into operations, I contact you and said, oh, your first payment, your total payment's due? No. Obviously there has to be services and equipment that goes through that. So we'll start at the beginning. If you decide this is right for you, you'll talk to Brent or you'll talk to Sean. They are the salespeople, the national development people for Mailbox. Two Absolutely wonderful gentlemen, incredibly knowledgeable, will answer every question you have, and if there's something that comes up they don't, they send you to me. But these gentlemen have done this for quite some time, truly care, they're invested in you, and continuously talk to you through this whole process. You decide after you talk to them, yeah, I want to do this, and let's put my feet in the water, my toes in the water, and see what happens. Is this what I want to do? It takes $500. You then go to our finance group. If you're it's all self-funding, they get just the forms that they need from you and get you to real estate. There's obviously forms we have to get, proof of funds, intent. We do a real estate worksheet that breaks down what you could expect some expenses to be. As an example, we have to get all that because one, landlord's expected, and two, as a business, we want to make sure from a transparency standpoint, you know what to expect. You know that, hey, this package is, for a standard package, is $98,900, which, quite frankly, you and I are going to talk about before that. Know what kind of where you are, what the estimated rent might be, what your utilities might be, so that you have all that before you go to real estate. If you need help funding, we get that plus more information, and we get you connected with a third-party vendor. Obviously not part of our business. We do not finance in-house. We're not a bank. We're not a mortgage company. We're not a financier. We have third-party companies, a network of brokers that we get you connected with. And then we walk through to make sure things are getting done. And then follow up to make sure the calls are happening, the lenders are being set up, that stuff is being taken care of. And again, we get proof of funds there. Once that happens, then you get assigned to real estate. And so what happens is we have in-house leasing managers that are real estate brokers and real estate agents, and national and regional site locators. So they set up an intro call, and you will have a very detailed conversation about what you're looking for, what part of town, because you live there. You're going to know, hey, I want to be within 15 miles of my home. I'm looking at this side of the highway, this side of the river. I don't want to go 20 miles up north. You're going to feel real comfortable, and we're going to get all that information from you because we want to build a plan before we just go out there and start working. You're going to talk about, based upon your package, what store size you're looking for, which for Mailbox, for the most part, it's somewhere between 900 square feet and 12 to 1,300 square feet, with really the average being 1,000 to 1,100, which is great because that also means it's a little smaller footprint, saves you some money not only on rent, but on utilities and that such. Then they're going to listen to you. You guys are going to talk. They're going to get a great feel. From that point, they're going to work. We have all of the contacts through brokers across the United States, plus the other items that we can go on to, and they just start finding sites all over the place. We have a proprietary software that we give you access to so that as we get sites, it gets uploaded. You go in and look at them because you are the owner. You have to make the final decision of, hey, yes, let's move forward on this one, or no, this one isn't what I'm looking for, too far away. I've driven by there. I don't like the traffic count or not the part of town I want to be. You have to be part of this process because you're there. And I will tell you at this point, even with funding before, there's going to be a great amount of communication expected between you and us. In real estate, if you're slow and you don't communicate, you lose the site. It moves very quickly. And if we get a bunch of sites, we get sites and we try to get you to look at them, we don't hear from you, I tell them just to stop the project until we can have some called communication because that hurts our reputation with the brokers. So that if we have someone down the road that wants to go in the area and they look and say, well, boy, we didn't hear from you. Nothing happened. We couldn't get a hold of your client. So that is working very hard. Also, what they're going to give you beyond just a site, you're going to have an entire site layout. So you're going to see aerial shots. You're going to see all types of demographics, incomes, neighborhoods, competition. You'll see all the competition within an area, the way of the traffic. You'll have pictures of exactly where the site is. That is all part of what you're going to see through real estate. When we get down to those sites that you're looking for, then the real estate manager, as you guys talk, they're going to do a letter of intent, which then lets the broker know, here's what we're looking to do, here's what we're interested in, and they start building that process of negotiation. And that consists of everything from terms as in 3 to 5 years. It consists of everything from how's it going to be presented. Is it an as-is, vanilla shell, gray shell? Are they going to offer you TIs, which is tenant improvement? How much free rent are they going to be able to give you to start? Is it 60 days? Is it 30 days? Is it 90? Is it 150? All of which those are examples that our guys have negotiated. What condition is it going to be in? Is it ADA compliant? Is the bathroom up to code? The lighting, is it current? Is it fixed? The tiles are going to be there. How is the parking? What about the HVAC? All of that is negotiated. As we get to where we're getting closer, you say, yep, this is the site that I truly want. Then they do a formal letter of intent, which that's where it really starts narrowing it down, where it's just roll up the sleeves and negotiate hard for you. I will tell you, these gentlemen, again, have your best interest, and they're your representative. They're going to fight for you, and if it's a bad deal, they're going to tell you. And I know you love this. This is a bad deal. And the general manager then will jump in if you're going, no. And I will tell you, this is a terrible deal. You can get something better. And then as you go through that, if that's the site, it goes through all the negotiations to where then you sign your lease. At that point, you get transitioned over to the operations group. Happens to be one of the other areas that I oversee. Now, we are going to have talked multiple times prior to that, so it's not like it used to be where that's the first time you're going to talk to me. We're already going to have your contract in place, so we already know what the package is that you want. We're having to do that earlier than we used to because, again, going back to the delays of product coming from Asia and freight, we're doing that early so that we can let vendors know so product can be ordered because, again, a lot of electronics may come from overseas. At that point, your payment's due, unless you're still going through funding, then obviously not. But then we have checklists, and myself and my assistant will go through there so that here's what needs to be done. And really it's a checklist where you and I have something every time we talk, which is quite often, so you know exactly what needs to be done on your part to the site, because there's always things, and what you need to do legally to be able to run the store. Whether that be, obviously you get your LLC, you have to register your name, you get an EIN, you get a state tax ID, you find out through the city whether you need a new certificate of occupancy. Those are all things that you will do because we can't. That's an owner. Usually most folks will go through the LegalZoom or a personal accountant to get that set up, and those are all things you do, and we communicate that. We're based upon when the work's going to be done, when you're going to be done, you and I will schedule the store setup date. As we go through that process, Denise gets you, my assistant, gets you set up with the associations that work with you in regards to getting your credit card processing set up, web page set up, so that all of that happens. And there's a great network to help with that. Again, as we go through that process, as we get closer to the store setup, I let you know who your store setup supervisor is. 99% of the time, that date starts on a Monday. I'll let you know who they are. They talk to you. You guys set up a time to meet on a Sunday. They walk the store because that's when they fly in because they're finishing up the other store on a Saturday. And then the process starts on Monday. Typically, assuming there are no bumps in the road, your store is ready to do a soft open that Saturday, 5 days later. Your grand open you do 2-3 weeks later. The reason for that is once things are ordered, you and I have zero control of that product until it's taken off the truck. So if a counter comes in and it got broke during shipping, obviously replacement needs to be made. There's numerous things that could happen, COVID, hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, and that obviously we don't control. So that's why you do a soft open instead of if you're going to do a grand opening where you're doing ribbon cutting and media and everything else. If something happens where you can't open, it's not like you can reschedule that. That's already done. And I don't want you to lose money. That's why you do it 2 or 3 weeks later. Plus, you want to get comfortable running your store before you do your grand opening. You want to get your sea legs under you. So that's how that process goes, and then away you go. Obviously, prior to that, we now have started doing, once again, thankfully, in-house training for those who can come to Vegas. If you can't come, we still have the Zoom training that you deal with for the software company. You still have all the links for training on product and operations. We still give that to everybody because that's what we obviously had to do, and we increased that availability for the last year and a half. But we've gone back to being able to offer because Las Vegas has opened up. We've offered the in-house training again. I think this month will be the 3rd month now or 4th month that we've been able to do that. And what that consists of, clients fly in on Saturday, Sunday, whatever. And then we have in-house training here at our office Monday, Tuesday. And that is all about operations. We have the entire training room is set up for Mailbox. Everyone has their own computer, so you're able to get on as if that was a computer at your store. We have all of the equipment in our training room that you have behind your store. You learn how to, whether it's the binder, the cutter, the passport, you learn how to do that. For those of you who do print, we have an entire wall that shows what you're going to get for the print center. We just got that created again about 3-4 months ago, so that you have all of that. So, and that training, like I told you, is from a gentleman who has been running his own business that we developed 12 years ago, and he's been doing training for us for years. On Wednesday, what happens is in the morning, you actually come back here to the office. We've kind of been playing around with that a little bit. You spend some time with our IT director, and he talks to you about some of the IT scenarios to help you that you're going to need when you go to your store. That's something we're actually just going to start doing here on the training on the 16th. And then something we created last month is our other gentleman that does all of our social media. He now has put together about a 2.5, 3-hour program to teach you all on social media. Yes, your web page will be set up through an association, but there's a lot more that can be done advertising through social media, and he teaches you that and gives you direction so that you can feel comfortable and do it yourself rather than paying someone $500-600 to do it. And you can keep looking at ways based on that foundation to market your store. Then from that point, if you're at the value package store where you're not going to do any print, you're free to go and having a great time. Hopefully you've been having a great time already. But then from there, you actually go over to the distributor of our print, all of the large format printers, the sublimation machines, the mini printers, and you spend the rest of the day at his store. He's also the one that after that he's the one that conducts your training. When you're at your store, he'll call you, walk you through that as well. But you're obviously going to learn that at his shop because everything is set up in his nice office, and it's 15 minutes from our office, 20 minutes from our office. And then what he also has been doing is, and he's been doing this for a long time, is about every other week he does Zoom training seminars, either on Saturdays and Sundays, where you're part of, and it isn't just about understanding how to use your equipment. It's very directed towards, so how do you market your equipment? How do you get out in your community to let people know what you can do to drive revenue? And that training just keeps going on and on and on, so that continues to go. And so that is the program in regards to getting you set up. So now, since we've talked a little bit about print, let me tell you some of because we've talked about all the other services, let me tell you about, if you get print, what that actually means and what that can do for you. So let's just say you got the standard package, which is the one that has a large format printer or the smaller printer. What that does for you, beyond all of the post and ship that you're going to be doing, this is the second side of your business. And this is set up for 90% of your print is self-serve. You have a great setup above in the area where you have your large format printer, so that clients who come in will be directed straight to there, and you have a huge banner and all sorts of things we've created on the wall, or I didn't, this distributor did, that lets clients know, here's exactly what we can do for you. There is a touch screen monitor. They go there. So let's say, for instance, they wanted to do wrapping paper. That's one of the things it does. They hit the app. It opens up all these templates. It's a blank template if they want to create their own, or it has multiple ones that you just plug in the items that you want to do. You go to you link in, you upload your pictures, boom, it's there. They get it done. They come to you. It takes you 2 or 3 clicks on the computer, just a couple minutes. It prints the job. It's taking you 5 minutes to do that. So it can do blueprints. And again, we already talked about how you have a mobile scanner for jobs where people can't get to you. It can do menus. It can do banners, photos, which is really becoming more and more a deal for any of those of you who have children that have gone to the point where you have those very nicely expensive senior pictures. A lot of clients have started to just take a bunch of pictures, come in, upload those, and with the app are able to create senior pictures. Great profit for you and saves your clients a lot of money, which keeps them coming back. You can do yard signs. You can do business cards. We already talked about wrapping paper, menus, interior signage for retail, seasonal signage for retail. It basically will do, you can create screens so that then people can put the screens on their shirts. If you go to the next package and you actually get the sublimation machine and the cup and mug press, you can do cups, you can do mugs, and that one, instead of screens for shirts as an example, sublimation actually ingrains that into the fabric, and a lot of sports teams and everything use that. And so we have clients who do that. From a profit standpoint, just to show it, so what does this mean? So we'll just use a couple examples. An 18 by 24 canvas takes you 5 minutes to do. Excuse me. And they upload the picture, boom, boom, boom. You get it, prints it up, and you print it up. You put it on the frame that's there. It takes you 5 minutes. This one in particular, it costs you as an owner $8, and that includes the ink, the frame, the paper, everything. It takes 5 minutes, costs you $8. Those sell for retail for $69.99. Not just at your store, but anywhere you go. Business cards cost you $1.50. They'll sell for $20. So those are just a couple examples on the profit margin in regards to print. And not everyone starts with the standard package. Some people financially or just comfort level want to start with the value, which is not print at all. They start that. And then down the road, they contact me and they say, hey, can I get started? And we can obviously get that same equipment for the same price that it would increase as part of the package and get that delivered to you so that you can increase if you want to do that down the road. So not everyone starts with the standard package. Some start with the value. It's what you want to do, what you're looking for. Since we're also talking about print, let me throw out some more numbers for you just so that you know. And then the one thing I missed, and I do apologize, is in regards to the industry of shipping. Federal Express last year did $78.7 billion. FedEx. UPS did $84.4 billion. So shipping and printing is huge. Some people ask me, well, what about Amazon? Well, Amazon obviously hasn't impacted these. Amazon is self-contained. They do it. Yes, you can also go to Kohl's and drop stuff off. But that just shows how this is still growing and growing and growing, and their increase was double digits. From a print industry standpoint, currently the United States revenue based upon just print is a $75 billion industry in the United States. In the world, the global print industry is $743 billion. The expectation is this will continue to be strong. due to the versatility and the flexibility of the industry. And it's not even talking about the impact of remote work and kind of the change of how the American public is viewing when they've looked at life-work balance. Have they looked at what's important to them? That hasn't been factored in there because a lot of folks have decided they want to spend time at home. They want to work remotely, which again does nothing but to feed your business. So I guess that is our business. Those are the questions I would always ask people to ask themselves on, is this right for you? Is this something you want to deal with? Is this something you want to, again, put your toes in the water and look to see where it goes? Are you willing to take on the challenge? It's an amazing concept. It is something that, and again, we do dollar, we do teen, we do party, all great concepts. The difference, and again, those are great concepts, they're part of our business. That's 100% retail. I mean, you have to be willing to work, and have your store open 10 to 12 hours a day. Well, that's great if you're good with retail and you enjoy that and that's what you want to do. I was in retail for many years, and I did that, 24-hour day stuff. Some of my stores were open 24 hours when I was in Seattle. Well, this is a service business. This is much more drive in a nice large amount of revenue, yet still being able to have that life balance, spend time with your children, with your hobbies, with your friends, being able to get away and enjoy life and enjoy all your hard work and your dedication. You figure Sundays, most of the time these businesses are closed. They're open half a day. Saturday, in many cases, the stores are open 8 to 12, 8 to 2. Monday through Friday, and it depends on your community, maybe 8 to 6. Which also then means that depending upon how much you're going to be working in the store or you and your family, you either won't have to hire any additional employees or maybe 1.5 employees. Again, a great cost savings because usually labor in most industries is anywhere between 35 to 38% of your revenue. That isn't the case here. Plus, it also means you're not at a store 12 hours a day. So please let me open it up. Ask your questions. If I don't have an answer, I will get it for you. And again, I would mention that all of you got emails that either has Brent's information on it, Brent Thompson, or Sean McGowan. I would say call them. They pretty much open up their phones on Fridays, which are the day after teleseminars, so that they can be response and they can jump right on there so that they can answer anything that either I forgot, which I'm sure there's something, or that as you decided it, and you thought about it tonight or even over the weekend, discussed with those that you discussed this with, and you find out you have some questions or you want to move forward, please call them. It is moving fast. It is great, and I want you to get all your answers to any questions you have. But please ask me now so that I can fill any gaps that I potentially left. So does anyone have any questions?
Hi, JD. This is Mary. How are you?
Hi, Mary. How can I help?
I had a couple questions. So,
okay.
If it's something that we definitely decide to do,
yes.
You mentioned the starting point. You mentioned the $500, and then you also mentioned about proof of funds. Can you elaborate on that process?
I could talk about both. So that $500, which obviously goes towards your project when you move forward, that is when you're in sales and you decide, yes, I want to move forward. We require a $500 deposit because you figure you're not going to pay another dime until you pay me when you go to operations. So all of the work up to that point, which is a lot, I mean, we're paying for all these folks, you're basically getting all that done for $500. So now, if something were to happen, let's say you couldn't get your funding, as an example, if you needed funding, you get that $500 refunded to you. Now, we talked about proof of funds. So there's two things that I was talking about there. When you go to finance, If you are going to be self-funded, you're going to pay for it through a 401k, an IRA. Um, you, through hard work, have the funds, and you're not going to need any funding. We'll just require proof of funds that show that you have that money, whether that be documentation, from the bank account, whether it be if you got an SBA loan, they always send you a pre-qual letter. If you're going to get funding through our third party, after they get the information that they need, they do credit checks, they look at debt to income, depth of um, of credit, they will give you a qualifying letter as well. So those are the things that we would get for proof of funds. Because one, we need to know that to make sure that, yeah, this makes sense to go into real estate. Landlords are going to have to know that. We're going to have to be honest, and because we're not going to go in there and then find out that the client can't afford to do this. And then it's also, we have to know to make sure that what you have fund-wise is going to, if you and I are talking about the premium package, which is $128,000, 129 plus tax, and all of the funds you have total are 80, well then I've wasted your time, I've wasted my real estate time, I've wasted everyone's time. Then if I would have known that earlier, we would have looked at a different package. So that's how those two things work.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, did I answer the question?
Yes, I was just about
Okay.
the funding option, so that clarifies that.
Okay, very good. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Does anyone else have a question?
No, I would like to take my own start to speak.
Now, there has to be another question. I did not do such a great job that Mary was the only one that had a question.
This is Mr. Khan from Houston.
Oh, okay. Welcome.
I have a couple of questions. So what's the upfront, what are packages? You said 120,000 is premium package that includes modeling, shop, and equipment.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to ask you to tell me again. There's a huge echo, so I didn't understand what you just asked me.
If you have a state or on a shop, model to running this, what amount looking 128 per premium package, you have a packages.
So the packages are going to include, one, all of the work that's done here in the office, but from an exact, in your store, what that's going to include is all the retail product, all of the fixtures, all of the equipment, us going there and setting it all up for you, and includes the signage as well. And all of that comes. We don't do any construction. We're not a construction company. We're a development company, so again, it includes all of the fixtures, all of the equipment, the POS system, the mailboxes, the scanners, the copiers, the binding machine, the cutter's passport, and the TV for that. It includes all of that, and then my team setting it up beyond everything that's been done up to that point.
How much is that?
I'm sorry, how much is what?
Cost to start a business? How much
it depends on
upfront money?
Well, it depends on the package you pick. And when someone comes in-house, like I said, we send you this and it breaks it all down. It can go anywhere from $78.9 to $98.9 to $28.9. And again, I'm sorry, the connection is terrible, so I'm not sure I'm hearing all your question. Now, your individual cost, that's going to be dependent upon what your rent is. It's going to depend on what work is required by you. Is it an as-is where you may have to paint, you may have to do flooring? Obviously, you personally, you're going to have to do your LLC, your business licenses. Those are things that you're personally going to do. They're not part of the package because that's an individual legal thing that an owner has to do. That wouldn't be part of our package because we can't do that for you.
Could you send us different packages? Because let's say if I have a company already, she registered, and I already have a real estate building to
So,
run area.
here's what
So
here.
how
Do you have
much
a yeah? Do you have
money?
a piece of paper and a pen? Do you have a piece of paper and pen? I'll give you
Yes.
my email, so you can email me yours, and I'll send you a copy of and I can email you this sheet that has the package price. So
Okay.
you ready for my email?
Yes.
Okay, so it's GR. Oh no, that's my personal one. Ignore that one. It's JD. So like Joe David dot Gray GRAY at DRSS. So it's like Discount Retail Store Services DRSS mail MAIL.com. So email me either tonight or tomorrow. I'll send it to you tomorrow. Just say, hey, I was on the teleseminar. You mentioned the packet price and sheet. Can you please email it to me? And I'll be more than happy to.
Okay.
And I'll get it to you if I have it. I'll get it if you give me your email. I'll have it to you by 6:30 my time in the morning because I usually get here about 5:30, 5:45.
Can I put my email here? Chat. You got it?
I'm sorry.
On chat box, can I write my email here?
No, I'm actually not on the computer at all. I'm doing strictly on the
Okay.
phone because it records it, so that then I can use it for people who weren't able to get here. So if you could just email me that you're looking for that, I'll send it to you.
All right. Thank you.
My pleasure. Does anyone else have a question?
Katie, oh, go ahead.
Sounds like you can jump back in.
JD, hi, this is Mary again.
Hi, Mary.
So compared to a UPS store and a FedEx store, I'm just curious how the Mailbox Express is doing because locally we have one UPS store and then of course the FedEx store.
Yeah.
But I feel like my area needs another option because like you said, customer service, clean store.
I hear that a lot, Mary.
Are
I hear that a lot, that people are just saying, hey, well, and there really is no place that any of our clients are where there isn't going to be another mailbox store, where there maybe isn't going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 20 UPS stores and a FedEx office store. But I hear that quite often on what you just said is, hey, I go in there, they are rude, it's dirty, they act like I'm nothing more than an inconvenience. I want to offer a service. I will tell you the differences. One, you're going to offer everything they're offering. You're going to probably offer it at a better price. You're going to understand because it's your business and your employees are working for you, and the decisions you make and the manner in which you communicate is going to indicate or depend on, that energy, and that's going to determine what goes into your bank account. So you're going to be able to pay college for kids or have a retirement, where in those other stores it isn't. The other great thing is you are the owner of this store, which means you're not having to pay $250,000 to $400,000 to become a franchisee. You're not having to follow someone's directions and say, you will use this box, you will do this step, you will do this, and you're not going to have to give someone 7 to 10% of your monthly gross revenues, no matter what your bottom line is. That money is going to go to you. It's not going to go to them. So that competition, and again, I come from retail. I've never been someone who believes that competition is a bad thing. I believe competition is a good thing. Competition, it means that there is a need in your community for this service. And if you don't have it, there's even a bigger need. But it also lets you know that there's reasons people are going there. And as long as I said, if you are a great owner and you do all the things I talked about earlier, people are going to find you and come to you because there's already a need created in your community, but it's a need that they had to go to because there was no options. You're giving them a better option, better price, better, service, and you're part of the community. You're not a corporation. Anything
Thank
else
you.
from anybody?
I have a question.
Okay, good.
Yes, I have found a location that they're selling this location. They're not doing the kind of stores that that you guys offer. What they're doing is other things that could be implemented. So my question to you is, if I am not interested with the cleaning part, I'm interested with the mailboxes, the PO boxes,
Yes.
and the other things like
So,
taking photocopies and taking pictures and all that. How would be the pricing for that? If I already
$78.9. That's our value package. That is what our company, this product, this is what it was based on earlier. That's strictly the post and ship package that we have. You don't have to do print. That's just an additional package. You can do strictly what you talked about, the mailboxes, the FedEx. You can, the copier, because the copier comes with that. You do all of that, and you don't have to do all of the print, because that's not part of that package. And that package today, through the rest of this month, is $78.9.
90, 90,
Yes, $78,900.
yeah, 900, so like
Yes, ma'am.
And so you're not going to be doing any of the negotiation or looking for the location,
Okay.
and there won't be any
No, I'm
for
sorry.
any of the.
I heard the word location. I don't know if you're on maybe speaker, but I didn't hear the rest of what you asked me about location. I'm sorry.
No, I said if I, not that I have made any agreement or talked anything about it, but I have this in sight. So if I already, let's say I have a location, and so the location is kind of just bringing in the PO boxes and the rest of the things that you will be bringing up, it will still be 78,900.
Well, I have to tell you, I'm having a terrible, terrible time hearing.
I am so
No,
sorry.
no, you don't have to be sorry. If you want to talk to me live tomorrow, so I can answer those questions, or I can hear you better. I'm hearing a little bit about if you already have the location, maybe. If someone doesn't need our real estate, obviously we do a deduction for that. We take off $3,000 or $4,000 if a client isn't going to use real estate. But
Yeah,
why don't you, if you want, um, by all means, you can either call Brent or Sean and ask them those questions directly so that they can answer those to let you know, and then they'll probably send you to me anyway, so we could talk about if you didn't need real estate, what would that package be? And it would probably drop it down to like 75.9 as an example, if you didn't need any real estate work, because you already either own the property or you've already negotiated a lease, which absolutely happens.
okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for asking. Any other questions?
Yes, JD, I have a question.
Okay.
My question is, because this is being recorded and I missed the first part of it, how long will it take for this to be uploaded for us to go back and listen to the first part of the presentation?
I will tell you, IT tries very hard to have that ready by end of tomorrow, so I could get it to you on the weekend, or it could be Monday. It really depends,
Okay.
because sometimes they have to pull out background noise and that. But worst case scenario, usually it's Monday, and all I would ask, send me an email and ask me, and I can forward it to you, and I do that all the time.
Oh, sure, no problem. I already have it written down, your email.
Okay, good. I was going to ask, but yeah, because we have a lot of people that will join late or with background noise, you didn't really get to hear. That's why it's recorded, so we can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just let me know.
Again,
yes, I will.
Again, I would like to verify that email address.
All right.
It's John.
Any other questions?
Yes, I want to verify Your email address?
Oh, okay. So it's JD, so like Joe David, JD dot Gray, Gray, at D like David, R like Randy, S like Sam, S like Sam, so DRSS, mail, MAIL.com. That's my direct email.
Thank you.
Oh, no, my pleasure. All right, well,
Katie, I have one last. I have one last
okay,
question about financing.
okay.
So I understand it's third-party financing, but is the financing like 100%, 80%, or what type of financing? Is it like a commercial loan?
So it would be a personal loan, and it could be 80, 90, 100. We have many clients that their entire project is paid for through the loan that they get. We have others that they don't need that. But, usually folks, they want to get as much as they can. That doesn't mean they have to use it all. It's because you want working capital. So it is just dependent upon what you qualify for through them.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, if there's nothing more, again, as I said before, I really appreciate you taking your personal time to spend here and ask questions. Please, I'd ask you to give this a great deal of thought. It is a great thing to get into if you're thinking about starting your own business and, using your hard work to benefit yourself, your family, your legacy, and, kind of making all of that hard work mean something so you're not doing it for someone else. Please, any questions, like I said, myself, Brent, Sean, we're here. That's what we do. And we'll answer all your questions for you. And there's a great deal of experience in this building to answer everything. So thank you. Have a wonderful evening. Again, I appreciate your time.
I have a quick question.
Okay, there you go.
I wanted to know, how can I go back and listen to the video? Will you send out another link?
Yeah,
because I missed a portion of it as well.
Yes. So did you write down my email?
I did, yes.
Send me an email and ask, and as soon as it's uploaded, I will send it to you. As I said, a lot of times
Okay.
I'll have that by Friday before I leave, but it could also be Monday. So as soon as I get it, I will send it to you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you all. Have a great evening, and hopefully we will be talking to you a lot very, very soon. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Good night.